We have here the brand new Pinarello DOGMA F mountain bike in a size medium, weighing 23 pounds 4 ounces, and in kilos 10.54 kgs. Stay tuned to after the video. We'll hear these beautiful wheels and a free buy sound test on these P1 racing wheels with tactic hubs and bird spokes. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and this right here is the Pinarello DOGMA F and their full suspension mountain bike. Yes, Pinarello have brought back the dual suspension mountain bike lineup to their brand, and it's something that is definitely a really beautiful sight to see here. Tom Pidcock won the world championship on this bicycle, and I believe he also rode in the Olympics on this exact same frame. The thing was that once he actually won it, the bicycle wasn't ready for production for another 6 months. So we were finally able to get our hands on this thing. We were able to get a customer of ours, a really good customer of ours, wanted this bicycle built up to the exact specification you see here. And if you guys are a fan of the channel, I know I mainly do road bikes here, but we do a ton of different mountain bike builds as well in the store. And this one I just had to show off. One, it being a 23-pound mountain bike here with 2.3 tires on there as well. But it is a absolute beautiful bicycle. Carbon fiber frame, dual suspension with the flight attendant on here with the automatic adjusting shocks by RockShox, or you can have a remote lockout, which he does right there as well. You have the XX transmission group set on there, and then the wheels. These are their P1 race technology wheels that have a very similar design to a Princeton rim, but they're built up with a tactic hub and a bird spoke. And what a bird spoke is, it's a wire or a rope spoke here that is meant to make the bicycle really light, and then also it's supposed to give it a nice compliant ride as well. But the tactic free body on this bicycle is going to be mind-blowing. I already did a video on my Instagram reel, but stay tuned to after video where you guys go ahead and hear that. The complete build on this thing, I don't know the exact price on it because of the fact we just got done with the build up on it. We have to price everything in the computer. But to give you guys an idea, the frame set is $7,000. The handlebar, I believe, is around $700. The RockShox suspension on there for the flight attendant, I think, is around $2 grand. The wheels with the tactic hub and the bird spokes on there, I want to say is right around $2,800 for the setup, and you can actually build those wheels, the P1 race technology wheels, with the bird spokes and the tactic hubs on their website for that $2,800, which is crazy if you think about what road wheels are. And then the transmission kit, the XX super light transmission kit with the power meter on there, I think is right around $2,900 for the group set. You have the wireless dropper reverb post, and then also the 3D printed mirror sat on there. So all in all, it is an expensive build-up on here. You can see here you have the world champion logos as well, or the colors. And the bicycle does come in a complete bicycle build-up, but it obviously won't come with those wheels. But man, the bike is phenomenal. So without further ado, let's go through the whole entire bike build, talk about everything it came with, and then also a little bit on this bicycle too. You can get it in 2 different setups if you wanted to. You can run it with a 90 rear shock and 100 front shock, so 100 millimeters of travel and 90 in the rear, which is how it's currently set up. Or they have this little piece right here that's removable, and you can move it back if you want to run a 100 in the rear and a 120 in the front, which is a little bit more normal nowadays. But this customer wanted just a strict, straight up XC bike on here. So let's go ahead and get into this bike build. So starting off with the cockpit, this is the most XC Ultra Talon carbon fiber bar that is paired with this mountain bike. This stem is, or this handlebar is made specifically for this mountain bike on here, and they have their own proprietary spacers to fit with this bicycle as well. Really beautiful. I love the head shape on here. I love the aerodynamics on here. It's a really nice feeling bar. The only downside is that there is literally no holes on the bottom of this thing to run a Garmin on here. So if you do want to run a Garmin, unfortunately you have to get the If you run a Garmin here, you do have to get the mount with the rubber bands in there, which is going to look ultimately cheesy, I think. Hopefully they make something to go ahead and work with this, or you can get the ones that go on top of the top cap as well. But I was kind of bummed to see they didn't have any mounts with that. We went with the ESI grips on here for the comfort. Then the bike is ran with XTR brakes, and they are their race version, so it's a 2-piston version with a carbon fiber lever, and they run off of mineral oil. This being SRAM transmission on here, and the flight attendant, it is completely wireless. So you have a SRAM shifter over here that's going to control your up and down shift right here. And then you can go ahead on the other side, you have their wireless dropper post, which you can go ahead and adjust right here as well. And this also controls your remote lockout here for the flight attendant. So you see right there, open, pedal, lock, and you get those 3 different modes. With the flight attendant, if you wanted to go ahead and get rid of that manual connection, they also have an AI mode where you can literally pair it to basically work when you want it to. Again, this customer wanted it set up like this, but the AI mode is really something special that we set up on a ton of different S-Works Epic 8s. That basically, if you stand up and sprint on the bicycle, you can automatically hear it adjust and go ahead and lock out. As soon as you actually hit a bump again, those shocks open up and they allow it to do its thing, and it takes away all the mental game of remote lockout options on there. It's a really, really nice function. But you do have two separate battery packs. You have a battery pack on the front and a battery pack on the rear. And while you're hitting the locks, this is also controlling the rear at the same time as well. So it's not just doing one, it's doing both shocks at the same time on there, which is really cool. For the front shock on here, it's the RockShox SID SL in a 100mm travel configuration. And again, I think the blue ties together really well with this. You can get it in a black color, but that navy blue matches that bicycle really well with the kind of gold navy blue. Beautiful looking color scheme. The fork is a boost setup. It's a 15 by 110 setup as well. And I want to say it's a 44mm offset. 100mm travel, 44mm offset as well with a 29-inch wheel, which is always cool. Just keep in mind, like I said, guys, you will have to charge 4 batteries on here for everything. For the wheels on here, it's the P1 Race Technology wheels, again, built up in that bird spoke configuration, and also their Tactic hubs. Tactic hubs are one of the lightest weight hubs out there on the market for configurations for racing. I don't know the internal rim width on these things right off the bat. I'm gonna assume 30. That's pretty much where mountain bike industry is right now. I think 30mm internal rim width on there, but I don't know for sure. Also, I'm assuming that it's a hookless rim because usually all mountain bike stuff is hookless on there. For tires, we have on here the Vittoria Barzo in a 29 by 2.25, and it's set up with tubeless fluid inside there with orange seal. Again, they're made tubeless. And going over to this side over here, we have on here the 160mm XTR front disc brake to go ahead and pair it with their post-mount XTR disc brake caliper as well, which is always very nice. Going down the frame here, you can see you have the Pinarello logo, again with the top world champion colors, and the world champion colors going on here. It is a Dogma F XC mountain bike. You have the nice little made in Italy. You have this nice little frame hole right here. This is a normal English bottom bracket. This is not Italian thread bottom bracket, which is very weird. If you notice anything about Pinarellos, everything is usually Italian threaded. For some reason, their XC mountain bikes are English thread bottom brackets, which is really crazy to me. But we just have a standard SRAM dub bottom bracket on there as well. Going to the shock here, it's a SID Lux Ultimate in a 90mm travel configuration with the battery pack for the SRAM flight attendant on there. And like I said before, this piece right here, which is pretty much, I think, 3D printed, it can move. You can see the bolt right here, and you can change the travel length from 90 to 100 mils if you wanted to go ahead and fit your configuration of what you need on there. For the cranks, we have on here SRAM XX SL crank arms, so very lightweight carbon fiber crank arm in a 170 configuration paired with a 32 tooth chain ring and a SRAM cork power meter. Looks very good on there. You have the SRAM XXT type chain as well for 12 speed. And then going to the back here, we have our brand new SRAM transmission cassette in a 11, is it 11 or 10? 10 52 tooth cassette, and there's SRAM XX transmission rear derailleur stuff. I don't really talk about this stuff too much on the channel because there's a ton of different mountain bike configurations out there, but we do a lot of mountain bike builds. It's UDH compatible. This is, or it's only UDH, where it gets rid of the derailleur hanger completely. This mounts directly to the bicycle, and that way it's going to take away all the difficulties of a bent rear derailleur hanger on there, and it's going to give you a much more exact shift. They actually say this stuff shifts better under load when testing, so that's great for mountain bikers who are going up hills, climbing under pressure, and want this thing to perform at its finest when it needs to. They also have the magic wheel on this rear derailleur that if you get a stick stuck inside here, the internals will stop spinning, but the outside will keep on spinning. You have your battery pack right here as well. And then this entire rear derailleur is pretty much completely rebuildable from these pieces right here to this piece right here to this derailleur cage. We already had to replace one of these derailleur cages because one guy broke it off. So the derailleur is very functional in that matter because obviously it's a robust item. It's a mountain bike. They gotta figure it's gonna break a little bit. So they definitely took that in consideration. So it's a very cool piece of technology. The rear wheel is exactly the same as the front. Again, a P1 Race Technology carbon fiber rim, bird spokes, and then their Tactic hubs. These get a lot of love on YouTube. A lot of people like to see these, and they look badass. This is one of my first wheels I've seen in person. We usually just build regular Sapum spokes or whatever spokes come on top of the Revolve Control SLs. but it's a really good vibe with that color scheme on there for that entire bicycle. Rear rotor is exactly the same as the front. Again, a 160mm rotor. And keep in mind for this too, this says Ultegra, I know, but for this bicycle, it needs to be a flat mount disc brake for the rear disc brake caliper. It is not a post mount. So this is pretty much a road disc brake caliper for this mountain bike on here. I don't know why they did that, but we had to go ahead and source one out for the customer here. That's why it's not an XTR. So if you are getting one of these to build, this is a flat mount disc brake caliper in here, okay? It is a boost axle in the rear again, a 148. I think it's 12 by 148 on there. And then you're running, again, the exact same tire as the front. It's a Vittoria Barzo 29 by 2.25. And then for the seat post on here, we're running a RockShox wireless reverb with a battery pack again. This is a complete dropper post that has this much travel that you can lower with the touch of a button. No cables are ran through the bicycle. And then on here we have the Specialized S-Works Roman Evo saddle and the Mirror edition, carbon fiber rails, carbon fiber body, and 3D printed technology all on the top here to go ahead and make this bicycle an absolute smoke show of a bike. This is, again, the Pinarello DOGMA F XC mountain bike, built up with SRAM flight attendant, RockShox flight attendant shocks on here, 90 travel in the back, 100 travel in the front, P1 race technology rims and Bird composite spokes, Tactic racing hubs front and rear, with a SRAM XX SL transmission kit on here, paired with their most Ultra Talon XC carbon fiber handlebar. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will show you guys the video right now of the. All right, here comes the free body sound test on this P1 race wheel. Super nice. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.